So I have a confession to make. I own 3 8BitDo controllers, not because I need 3, mind you, not because I can use one in each hand and a third with my friends, no, but because apparently I have the self-control of a geriatric man in a water fountain shop. It started innocently enough. Earlier this year, I got the Odin 2 Portal, which sat on my desk looking all forlorn, so I thought, it's like a pet demanding a new toy. I'll go out and get it a controller. I wanted something that worked with Android, with Windows, and felt premium, so I bought the 8BitDo Pro 2, and it was brilliant, genuinely brilliant, best controller that I've ever used. And then I thought, well, what if I have people over? What if we want to play something together? As if I'm the sort of person who hosts impromptu gaming tournaments rather than somebody who eats crisps alone at 11 o'clock at night. So I bought a second controller, which in hindsight was optimistic because the number of times I have had people over to play games in the last 6 months is in fact 0. But I was prepared, and my old Scoutmaster would have been proud of me. That's the important thing. And then 8BitDo announced the Pro 3, with removable buttons and a charging dock, and my brain, which should have said, you already have 2 perfectly good controllers, instead said, but what if you could take the buttons out? As if that was somehow a life-changing feature that I'd been waiting for all these years. As it turns out, I did have to wait for it, because whilst our American cousins were gleefully unboxing their TMR joysticks in August, these have only just been released officially in the UK in October. Now, to be fair, I did have a legitimate reason for buying the Pro 3. 1, I needed content for this channel. And 2, what if you could take the buttons out? But actually, no, the charging dock does actually solve a real problem for me. I've got limited space where I keep controllers, and having them just sit in a dock is really useful. Also, I really don't like having to plug and unplug controllers every time I want to use them. But let's be honest, those are just justifications that I come up with after I've put in a pre-order. So here we are. I own 3 8BitDo controllers, and today we're going to talk about whether the Pro 3 is actually better than the Pro 2, or whether I've just spent money because I have a problem. Spoiler alert, I have a problem. The 8BitDo Pro 2 versus the Pro 3 is a far more interesting comparison than I thought it would be, because 8BitDo have made some really brilliant upgrades. And then they've taken one decision that just completely baffles me. I am still trying to work out what they were thinking. Let's start with what makes the Pro 3 better, because on paper, this thing is a proper upgrade. First up, the sticks. The Pro 2 has Hall effect sticks, which are great. There's no drift, they're very reliable. But the Pro 3 has TMR sticks. Tunneling Magneto-Resonance, it stands for, and not terribly mighty round things, which is what I initially thought. Tunneling Magneto-Resonance. It sounds like something out of Star Trek, which is probably why 8BitDo used it on the box instead of slightly better sticks. But that's basically what it is. What it actually means is they're more precise, they're more durable than Hall effect. It's a different technology entirely, and you can feel it. There's a smoothness to the movement that the Pro 2 doesn't quite have, but there's also this resistance. It's like something is always pulling them back to the center, which sounds like it would be annoying, but it's actually really nice. It actually gives you more control, more precision. You're not fighting against loose, floppy sticks. They feel deliberate, planted. It's subtle, but once you notice it, you'll spend the next 10 minutes just moving the sticks around instead of actually playing anything. The Pro 3 also comes with 2 circular button caps that snap on and off the sticks, giving them a more retro joystick feel. They're nice to have, and arcade enthusiasts might appreciate them, but they're really a bit of a gimmick. They'll likely spend their entire lives in the box, alongside the spare screws, instruction manuals that nobody reads, and the treasure of the Aztecs that got lost when somebody said, I'll just put it somewhere safe. But the real upgrade, the thing that actually justifies this controller's existence, is the triggers. The Pro 3 has dual mode Hall effect triggers, which means that you can switch them between analog and digital. And this is genuinely brilliant. In analog mode, they work like normal triggers. You've got the full range of movement, which is perfect for racing games, anything where you need that precise control, that precision. But in digital mode, they become instant. No travel, no gradual press, just click and it registers, which is perfect for shooters when you want your aim down sights to be as fast as possible. My actual aim remains terrible, but now I can miss faster. I've been playing around with this, and it's one of those features that once you've got used to it, you really notice when it's not there. I've gone back and forth between the Pro 3 and Pro 2 for a bit, and the triggers just feel, I don't know, they feel slower, they feel heavier almost, which is ridiculous because the Pro 2's triggers are perfectly fine. But the Pro 3 has spoiled me. Now, the D-pad. Both controllers have excellent D-pads, and this is one area where 8BitDo consistently gets things right. They're precise, they've got just the right amount of travel, you're not going to get accidental diagonal inputs, and you're not going to miss a direction because the pad's too mushy. The Pro 3's D-pad is actually a little bit different from the Pro 2. I mean, it's a little bit smoother, it's a little bit less clicky, and it feels more kind of set into the body of the controller. It doesn't press down as much, which sounds like it might be worse, but it's actually very, very nice. It feels a little bit more premium, a little bit more refined. If you're playing 2D platformers or fighting games, both D-pads are excellent, but the Pro 3's has slightly more sophisticated feel to it. The face buttons on the Pro 3, the removable ones, are interesting. They are noticeably louder and clickier than the Pro 2 buttons, which is probably at least partly down to them being magnetic. There's a very satisfying tactile feedback when you press them, almost mechanical keyboard-like. Some people are going to absolutely love this, and some people will hate it. Some will find it too loud. Personally, I like it. It feels responsive. It feels deliberate. But if you're playing late at night and everybody in the house is asleep, then they will soon be awake and they will know exactly what you're doing. They'll know exactly when you failed to kill that boss that you're after. The buttons themselves feel solid, though. There's no mushiness, no sticking, just clean, crisp presses. And despite being removable and magnetic, there's no wobble or looseness. They sit perfectly flush and feel just as solid as non-removable buttons. So that's the good stuff. Genuinely impressive upgrades that make a real difference to how the controller feels and performs. And then we get on to this baffling bit. 8BitDo, in their infinite wisdom, have removed native Windows Bluetooth support from the Pro 3. Let me say that again because it is so strange, I can't quite believe it. The Pro 2 connects to Windows via Bluetooth. It is simple, easy, works perfectly. The Pro 3 doesn't. You have to use the 2.4 gig dongle. That's your only option in Windows. Now, the dongle is fine. It works. It's low latency, much lower than Bluetooth, and there's no complaints with the dongle. But it's USB-C, which means on a modern PC, you're using one of your premium USB-C ports, the same port that you're probably already using for your webcam, your microphone, your capture card, your external drive. And 8BitDo don't include a USB-A adapter in the box, so if you want to use a standard port instead, you'll need to buy your own. The USB-C ports are already oversubscribed and they are resentful, and now you're asking them to accommodate a game controller as well. So you're not just tied to a dongle, you're tied to a dongle that is competing for some of the most valuable real estate on your PC's motherboard. And if you lose that dongle, you're stuck. You can't just connect via Bluetooth like you could with the Pro 2. There is a workaround, but it's the sort of workaround that involves more steps than assembling flat pack furniture, and it leaves you equally frustrated. I genuinely do not understand this decision. It's probably technical. I don't know. The Pro 2 had Bluetooth for Windows and it worked brilliantly. Why remove it? What problem were they solving? Maybe latency. I don't know. But because from where I'm sitting, they've taken away a feature that made the controller more versatile and replaced it with something that doesn't. It's especially frustrating because the Pro 3 still has Bluetooth for Android and Switch, so it's not like they've removed Bluetooth, they've just removed it for Windows. And I can't for the life of me work out why they've made that choice. I've lost sleep over this. Not much sleep, but sleep! Right. Let's talk about the removable buttons. All of the 4 face buttons, A, B, X, and Y, are magnetic and can be swapped around. You get a little tool to do it with, and you do really need that tool because they can be quite tightly packed in. They're quite, the magnets are quite strong. All of this means you can switch between Xbox layout and Nintendo layout, depending on what you're playing. It's really useful. Potentially, it's the most useful thing about the controller. If you're constantly switching between Xbox and Switch and you can't cope with the muscle memory adjustment, then yeah, this is useful. For me, I have swapped them once to see how it works, and then I put them back. But the mechanism is very clever. They just pop out with a satisfying click, which I've now done about 17 times, despite having no intention of actually swapping the layout. And they sit back in place perfectly. There's no wobble, there's no looseness. It's well engineered. And you also get some extra buttons in the little thing underneath the dongle, so you can put those in as well. The charging dock, that's what it's called. And the charging dock actually is one of my favorite things about the Pro 3. The Pro 2 charges via USB-C, which is fine, but there's something deeply satisfying about just dropping a controller into a dock and having it charged. There's no cables, there's no fumbling around, just plonk and you're done. The dock itself is quite nice. It's got a bit of weight to it so that it doesn't slide around, and the controllers sit at a slight angle, which looks smart. It's also got LED indicators to show charging status, which is useful. And for me, with limited space where I keep my controllers, having them just sit nicely in a dock is a real quality of life improvement. There's no pulling out wires and things. The other great thing about the charging dock is that it's got a little secret compartment underneath which stores your extra face buttons and the tool to take the buttons in and out, and your dongle if you want to move it around with you. But I don't know why you'd want to do that, because, well, why would you want to do that? It's plugged into your computer, right? The not so great stuff is worth talking about because the Pro 3 isn't perfect, and you need to know this. The rumble is aggressive. It's loud, it's buzzy, and it doesn't feel particularly premium. It has all the subtlety of a tumble dryer with a brick in it, which is a shame because everything else about this controller feels high quality. And then you turn on the rumble and it's like they forgot to finish that bit. On my particular controller, the left-hand rumble is noticeably more rumbly than the right-hand rumble. Now, you can balance this out a little bit in the software. There are individual sliders for left and right rumble intensity. But even when you've matched these levels, it doesn't quite feel the same, which either means that there's something wrong with my controller, or I've developed a very specific brain disease that only affects rumble perception. I don't know if this translates to everyone else's Pro 3s or if I've just won some terrible quality of control lottery thing which, hasn't really gone my way. But the good news is that the software makes it easy to adjust. Or as I've done, just turn the whole thing off because I never use it. The Pro 2's rumble isn't amazing either, to be fair, but at least it's balanced and it's consistent. And in racing games, that haptic feedback is kind of useful for knowing when you're about to go off the edge of a track. The Pro 3's angry, lopsided buzzing is more of a distraction than helpful. If you're a Switch player, there is a little bit of another annoyance because the Pro 3 can't wake the Switch up from sleep. The Pro 2 can do this perfectly fine, apparently. Don't know, haven't got a Switch. But apparently the Pro 3 can't do it, so there you go. You've got to press the power button on the console itself, which is fine if your Switch is right next to you, but if it's docked across the room, it means you're going to have to get up off the sofa every time. It's another one of those baffling decisions where they seem to be taking a working feature and removed it and not replaced it with anything. Battery life on both controllers is excellent, by the way. I charge them maybe once a week, and then I use it quite a lot during the week, at least 6 hours over 2 days when we're streaming, and, that kind of thing. Build quality is great on both too. They both feel solid. They both feel premium. Nothing creaks, nothing flexes. The Pro 3 has a slightly improved grip texture, which I can feel if I really concentrate. But in actual use, it's not a massive difference. Both controllers feel like they'll last you for years. The software is the same for both as well. The Ultimate 2 software, not the most intuitive thing in the world, but once you figure it out, it's easy enough and it's quite powerful. You can remap buttons, adjust stick sensitivity, change trigger dead zones, make macros, create different profiles for different games, layouts or systems. It does what it needs to do. Multi-platform support is still brilliant. You've got a switch at the back, X for Xbox mode, SX for Xbox mode, S for Switch mode, and D for droid mode, I assume. Flick the switch and it connects perfectly well. It's all fine and works perfectly. Obviously the Windows Bluetooth thing, but other than that, it's all fine and perfectly. One thing to mention, neither of these controllers work with PlayStation or Xbox consoles, which is a shame because if they did, these would be the perfect universal controllers. So if you're primarily a console player, you might need to look elsewhere. So should you upgrade from the Pro 2 to the Pro 3? If you primarily play on PC and you want the absolute best performance, the TMR sticks, the dual mode triggers, the lower latency of the 2.4 gigahertz dongle, yeah, the Pro 3 is worth it. But if you're giving up that flexibility of Bluetooth, if that's something that you use a lot, you're sacrificing a USB-C port unless you buy an extra thing, and you need to be okay with that trade-off. If you use your controller across multiple devices and you value that versatility, the Pro 2 might actually be the better choice. It's still an excellent controller, and the fact that it can connect to Windows via Bluetooth makes it more flexible than the Pro 3 in a lot of situations. If you're buying new and you don't own either, it's a tougher call. The Pro 3 is the more advanced controller with better technology, but it's also more specialized. The Pro 2 is the reliable all-rounder that just works with everything. For me, I'm glad I got the Pro 3. The triggers alone make it worth it for the games that I play. But I'm also keeping my Pro 2s because there are times when I just want to collect quickly to something and not think about dongles, which probably tells you everything that you need to know about both my purchasing decisions and my inability to get rid of tech that I don't strictly need. But I would love to know what you think in the comments below. Do you own one of these? Are you going to buy one of these, or are you just tempted? Have you also bought multiple versions of the same controller because you have a problem? I'd love to know. I'd love to know I'm not alone. Thanks ever so much for watching, though. That's it for this particular video, and I'll see you next time we venture into this little corner of the retro universe. And until then, happy gaming.